In a time in which Daredevil, Jessica Jones, Iron Fist, and all the Defenders are getting cancelled from Netflix, we have been given The Umbrella Academy.
What's this? Oh my god, climbing from the bottom takes way too long. Tell everybody that I'm sorry, but I'm never gonna come back. And it's clear it's all gone, and finding what we have just feels so wrong. And nobody's gonna stop me, cause I'm never gonna come back.
Alright guys, hope you are all doing well. Today I am back, and I have decided to kind of review, tell you my feelings on the new TV show on Netflix, The Umbrella Academy. Now, I don't think I have ever reviewed a TV show ever on my channel. So this will be a first. So hopefully if you like it, let me know and I'll be sure to review more TV shows for you guys. So before we get started, I'll be doing a bit of talking non-spoilers about the TV show and why I think you should watch it without spoilers. But after that, I will be getting into spoiler territory because I can't really explain everything in the TV show without spoilers and why I like it. So yeah, it's free on Netflix. Go watch it. I definitely highly recommend this TV show. Now for my non-spoiler part of the video, The Umbrella Academy is based off a graphic novel, written, done by the frontman or the leader of My Chemical Romance, which is, let me check that one for you, Gerard Way. So Gerard Way wrote this kind of comic book series. There's 4 of them now, or he's making the 4th one now, but there's 3 that I know of that are out, and this is kind of the adaptation from the first book in the series. The Umbrella Academy stars a lot, and I mean a lot, of great, and I mean great actors. You have Alan Page from X-Men and Juno. You have Robert Sheehan, which is my favorite character in this TV show because he's also in Misfits. If you haven't seen Misfits, also highly recommend that. Umbrella Academy is very similar to Misfits, but obviously the Umbrella Academy is a bit more serious. Robert Sheehan does bring that comedic side to every scene he's in, so he's a nice breath of fresh air for this TV show. You also have a bit of Planet of the Apes in here. The work on this character called Pogo. He's a monkey that works for the family, and he just looks amazing. He looks like he's right out of Planet of the Apes. It's actually so good, it's so uncanny, and I thought at some points I was actually watching Planet of the Apes. It's just so good, he's such a good character. So, I haven't even explained the story. So, the story is, there's this academy, so the story is, there is a group of children in an academy called the Umbrella Academy. So I'm not even going to tell you the plot of this film, because I don't even want to tell you the plot of this TV show, because I don't want to give anything away. I really didn't want to know anything. I watched the trailer first, and then I watched the trailer. Really got me hooked onto the TV show. Anything with good music in it really gets me hooked, and the trailer had a really good soundtrack. It was actually done by Gerard Way himself, so that really got me hooked, and all the music throughout this TV show, every action scene, every important thing that happens, or any fun thing that happens, there's a really nice happy song. It doesn't really fit with what's going on. It just really puts a smile on your face, and I just really appreciate how everything was done. So I did mention at the start of my video, Daredevil, Punisher, The Defenders, all those. I can't really comment on those because I haven't watched them. I watched the first couple of episodes and it just takes so long to get going, in my opinion. Umbrella Academy is not like that. First 2 minutes introduces you to all the characters, you understand what's going on, there is that little bit of mystery, but there's just enough to keep you hooked after the first episode. You want to keep watching and watching and watching. Each episode kind of leaves you on a cliffhanger, and you just want to know what happens. I ended up finishing the whole TV show in a day. and I'm rewatching it now with my family. That's how good I think this TV show is. It is better than anything I think DC has, or Marvel for that matter, has out on Netflix right now. I would say it is a mixture of Watchmen and X-Men. Umbrella Academy. Yeah, so that is my non-spoiler kind of part of this video. Now we'll be getting into spoiler territory on why I think the Umbrella Academy is amazing. And for one part, Ellen Page. Ellen Page is an amazing, amazing, amazing actor, and just seeing her journey throughout the whole of the TV show to the very end was just immaculate, and it's how a supervillain should be portrayed. So yeah, she's actually the supervillain of this TV show, which I did not pick at all. Like, I did think she was going to have powers, but I did not think at all that she was going to be the main villain by the end of it and cause the apocalypse. That, I think, was great writing, great on Gerard Way's part. That's how you make a villain, not this, oh, I'm evil because I want to take over the world. That seems like most of the Marvel and DC villains right now. This one, you could understand her motives. You can understand why she's doing the things that she's doing. She was neglected her whole childhood. No one loved her. It was just really sad seeing how this character progressed to modern day when she had no one. She lived by herself, she played violin, and even by people outside of her family. No one liked her. And just seeing her become this supervillain, you kind of rooted for her, but you kind of didn't want the apocalypse to happen because you wanted all these characters that you've been introduced to live, because they're all amazing characters, and I bought into what each character was doing and each character's motives. It was so good. Number 5, honestly, I feel like was one of the best secondary characters. He traveled back or forward through time to then see the apocalypse, and then was trapped because he couldn't come back, so he ended up growing old, like 40 years old, maybe a little bit older, I'm not sure. But then he was given a chance to go into this agency that makes things that are important in the timeline to happen. So say JFK was touched on, he was supposed to take out JFK, so that he made sure that happened. The apocalypse, he was supposed to stop the apocalypse, but this agency's whole thing was making sure the apocalypse would happen. So yeah, I really loved what he was doing. He couldn't really tell anyone what was going on until the final couple of episodes, which I thought was weird. His family could have really helped him, but that's okay. Robert Sheehan, I've already talked about him from Misfits. Seeing his progression as well, he's this massive drug addict, he can't really use his powers to see the dead. But then by the end of it, he can learn to use his powers to take control of Ben and give him power in the world to kind of save everyone from the people shooting them in the cathedral where the white violin was playing. That was an amazing scene, just seeing him use his powers for the first proper time in the TV show. That was really good. Ben's death isn't really touched on, which I think is a little bit weird. I am not sure if it is touched on in the comics, but I can't really tell you much more about that, unfortunately. Luther, starting the TV show, I was like, what's going on with him? He looks unusually big. And then you realize he's actually got gorilla serum in him or something that makes him live. I don't know, probably the same thing that he used for Pogo. That was cool seeing him being this massive dude, and I didn't really see progression in him. His mindset always kind of changed, like we always kind of stayed the same. Like, we have to kill Vanya, she's like gonna cause the apocalypse. He was just this big macho dude. So I don't know, he's just one of those, you know, main guys, the muscle guy, kind of like Captain America. That's what I'd compare him to. I've had a lot of thinking about the ending, actually. They all turn, 5 decides to take everyone either forward or backwards into the future. I'm not quite sure about that. I know we'll find out in the next season, because I'm sure that will be green lit. But they all turn into their childlike selves, like number 5. So I'm not sure if they'd be going back to their childhood, and if all the work they've been done in this first season will be undone, or what will happen. But they need to kind of learn what Vanya's power actually is, and they need to learn to kind of include her in everything and make her a central person in the Umbrella Academy, and actually include her in everything, because otherwise she'll turn out to be a supervillain. The ending very much reminded me of X-Men Last Stand. We won't talk about that movie because X-Men Last Stand wasn't the best at all, and the ending wasn't executed in the best possible way. But I feel like Ellen Page's character was very much reminiscent of Jean Grey, the Phoenix in X-Men Last Stand. The ending when Jean Grey's killing everyone on on Alcatraz, I felt was very similar to the way Vanya was playing her violin, and she could have killed everyone. Like, she was going to kill everyone when she finished her set playing her violin. So I thought it was amazing seeing, I was tense throughout that whole scene, and when Allison had the gun to her head, I was like, shit, she's gonna die, that's it. And she ends up shooting her, and her power goes into the moon, and that's what causes the apocalypse and inevitably kills everyone. I thought it was done great. Every episode here didn't feel like filler. Obviously, you get Walking Dead. You've got seasons of that, which is filler. I can't talk about Daredevil or Punisher because I haven't seen it, but I'm sure some of it is filler. No episode in this series felt like filler. There was always something happening. There was always something progressing. Can't talk enough about the music. I've been listening to the soundtrack ever since I finished the TV show. It is such a good soundtrack. It's even got Queen. It's got The Doors. It's got the original song by Gerard Way. Amazing. So my kind of grade, my review for this film, I'm going to give it a 10 out of 10. Honestly, it is one of the best TV shows I think I've ever watched on Netflix. It's better than most of the DC things out there, if not everything involving with DC other than Batman. On par with what Marvel's doing with X-Men. That's what I can compare it to. My kind of last thing I can leave you with is, if you liked Watchmen, if you liked X-Men, if you want to see the two together, watch The Umbrella Academy. If you liked my review, if you liked why I think you should watch The Umbrella Academy, please give this video a like. Please comment, tell me who your favourite character in The Umbrella Academy is, and please don't forget to subscribe. You'll be seeing a lot more videos from me in the future. So, I'll see you later.